Alaska has very unique energy needs, unlike other states across the country, with extreme weather, temperatures, and many communities disconnected from conventional power grids. The renewable energy research happening across the University of Alaska system is expanding ways to effectively and sustainably power Alaska's communities, both remote and otherwise. Good morning. My name is Crystal Engqvist, and I'm the Executive Director of Alaska Power Association. The critical work taking place in the fields of solar, hydro, wind, nuclear, and microgrids will provide Alaska with cutting edge technology and advancement necessary to operate efficiently into the future and set a standard for innovation and best practices for the rest of the country. Ongoing research and education in these key areas is taking place across the three universities. The Alaska Center for Energy and Power at the University of Alaska Fairbanks has launched multiple projects investigating the feasibility of solar, hydrokinetic, micronuclear, and other renewable sources of power throughout Alaska.
My name is Gwen Holdman. I'm the director of the Alaska Center for Energy and Power. We formed ACEP 12 years ago with a different vision for how to leverage university resources and expertise to solve the pressing issues facing Alaskans in the energy sector. We pride ourselves on our extensive research partnerships and place a priority on moving research from the lab to the field where people can directly benefit from cheaper or more reliable energy systems. At ACEP, we think about energy from a very holistic standpoint, not just traditional areas of heat and electric power, but also how people use energy in their daily lives and how changes to our energy infrastructure and strategies can improve lives or help ensure our energy sources are more resilient and reliable. ACEP also focuses on areas where Alaska has special expertise and tries to leverage that expertise to benefit other markets in the lower 48 or worldwide. For example, Alaska is home to more microgrids, small independent power grids that can function autonomously from a larger grid, than anywhere else in the U.S. This enables us to test new ideas that relate to distributed generation or renewable energy integration in ways that can't as easily be done in other locations. Seeing Alaska at the forefront of certain energy technology transitions is interesting and exciting, and I'm really proud of how innovative our utilities and community partners have been.
The Willow Solar Farm is the largest solar installations in the state, and it is the only solar installation run by a private company.
Back in 2018, we were starting to develop our first, what was called the Willow Pilot Project, which is actually just the first two rows here at the Willow Solar Farm. It was great to have a local research group that really understood solar in Alaska, and it helped build our confidence to take that step because we actually funded the pilot project and part of the expansion, and so then that gave us the confidence to one, that it would work, and two, that we felt comfortable to move forward.
So hydrokinetic energy is using moving water from either a river or tides to spin a turbine without damming or impounding water. And so one of the big questions to regulators and to resource managers is fish interactions with the turbine. So you have this turbine that's approximately 50 feet wide and takes up about 11 feet of the river water column, and the fish have to swim downstream as youngsters and then upstream as adult fish. And so the question is, how are the fish going to interact with that turbine as they swim to and from the ocean? Fish hydrokinetic energy research is really in its infancy. There's been several various research efforts around the world. Most of it's aimed at tidal energy research, and some of that's taken place in Scotland. Some of that's taken place in Bay of Fundy in both Nova Scotia and the US side in Maine. There has been some limited research in rivers, and that's all been done by AHRQ. We've done research in both the Yukon and Tanana rivers, and then now we're starting up here in the Kvichak River. The AHRQ researchers are also affiliated with PMEC, which is the Pacific Marine Energy Center. AHRQ and PMEC are leaders in the field of fish research with hydrokinetic devices, and so as the industry develops, fish research will be a critical aspect of that.
The next generation of nuclear reactor technologies is really different from legacy reactors that are part of our baseload power mix for the U.S. nationally. These advanced reactors are really envisioned as small and modular so that several of them can fit together to be part of a single larger system. These sorts of systems really remove some of the concerns that we have potentially about environmental contamination. There's a really small amount of nuclear material embedded in any one of these reactor designs, and most of the safety features are passive, so they don't require pumps or backup generators to operate.
While microreactors are still in the early stages of testing and development, our study finds enormous amounts of interest in the technology among energy producers and experts across Alaska. One of the best ways to see if the technology is a good fit for our state is to see it tested in an environment with open sharing of lessons learned and operational realities.
Startups have an advantage of bringing a fresh perspective to established industries such as nuclear. In a domain overshadowed by entrenched manufacturers and a quagmire of red tape, the ability to test novel strategies, to leverage innovative business models, or to collaborate more freely provides startups the agility to approach a problem uniquely.
Establishing comfort with microreactors will be key to implementation of the technology in our state, both with energy producers and with Alaska residents.
In addition to expanding Alaska's ability to utilize more sustainable energy sources, educators across the University of Alaska system are training researchers and our state's future energy workforce to keep this momentum going.
My name is Dr. Sonia Nagorski. I'm an associate professor in the environmental science program at the University of Alaska Southeast. And I teach a geology course here at UAS called Mineral Energy and Renewable Resources. And in this course, students learn the science behind both traditional fossil fuels, such as oil, natural gas, and coal, and modern renewable energy resources, and the environmental impacts and benefits of their uses. Students gain a strong understanding of how minerals and fossil fuels are formed, extracted, and what the costs of these activities are to water quality, terrestrial habitats, marine environments, and human societies. We then evaluate the diverse forms of renewable energy systems, wind, solar, geothermal, and tidal, and so forth, learning the science behind how they work, what materials they require, and how they both benefit and impact the environment. So my students often finish the course feeling invigorated by all the new energy solutions unfolding today, and many express an interest in pursuing careers in these fields, which includes some of the fastest growing job sectors in our country today.
The ongoing research and training happening across the state in these areas will benefit Alaska in countless ways, including economic growth and stability.
The message I want to send to everybody back home, particularly with regard to our universities, Alaska has so much to offer our country, our fellow citizens, even our allies around the world in conjunction with the university. We can attract the best minds, the best research on energy, on critical minerals that we need, that our allies need. And we can do that in conjunction with training a world-class workforce. Again, all things at the heart and soul of what the University of Alaska system does. So thank you very much. Our university, our state, our resources, our people are needed now more than ever, and we're going to be counting on you to help us in that regard.